Welcome to this episode of Real Chemistry. I'm Dr. Morris. Today we're going to be talking about graphically determining activation energy. So there's two other videos in this series. One just introduces the Arrhenius equation and talks about activation energy. The other goes ahead and calculates activation energy if you just have two sets of data. You have two temperatures and two rate constants, and then we can use algebra. If you have a whole big table of rates, or rate constants and temperatures, then usually what they want you to do is determine it graphically, and that's a more precise way to determine the activation energy. So we've done a whole series of experiments to conclude our activation energy from, rather than just two, and that makes it more effective. So how do you do that? Well, if you've been given a whole bunch of data, we can graph that in Excel, and we can use a best fit line to figure out activation energy. How do we do that? Well, there's 4 steps here. First, we rearrange our Arrhenius equation into a form that's going to make it look like y equals mx plus b, because that's the equation of our best fit line Excel is going to give us, and that's going to be how we determine the activation energy. We're going to have to calculate 1 over t and the natural log of our rate constant, and we'll talk about why in just a second. And then we're going to plot that data in Excel, add a best fit line, and whatever we have for the slope, we're going to multiply it by negative r, the gas constant, and that will turn out to give us our activation energy. All right, let's go through this process. So first, step 1, rearrange the Arrhenius equation. I'm not actually going to do the algebra here, but basically we can take the natural log of both sides, and when we do that, we get rid of the e. So the natural log and the e cancel out, which you may remember from algebra or not. And when you do that, you can rearrange it and have ln of k is equal to negative activation energy divided by r times 1 over temperature plus log of the concentration. Why is that useful? Well, that actually gives me an equation in terms of y equals mx plus b. So y in this case is log of k. And x in this case is like 1 over t. So what that means is if I plot log of k on my y-axis and 1 over t on my x-axis, then my slope is this guy, negative activation energy over r. And that means I can get from my slope the activation energy. I could also get, if I wanted, the frequency factor over here from my y-intercept. Okay, so that's how we rearrange our Arrhenius equation. We're going to use this form where we've taken the log of both sides. Then what we're going to do is calculate 1 over t and the natural log of k. We need to do this before we can plot our values, because remember, we want to plug in log of k on the y-axis and 1 over t on the x-axis. So here's our whole table on the left of all of our temperature values and our rate constants. And what we've done is just done a simple math step to go from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. All we're going to do is take our temperature and do 1 over it, and that's going to give us that. And we're going to take the log of our k, and that's going to give us that. I've left the last row empty, so we can do the last row. So we're going to take 781, and we're going to figure out what goes there. Well, all we got to do, this says 1 over t right up here, so that's all we're going to do is 1 over 781. And when we take 1 over 781, that gives us 1.28 times 10 to the minus 3. So that's what's going to go in here, 1.28 times 10 to the minus 3. And to get my k, I'm just going to take the natural log of it. So the log of 3.95 times 10 to the minus 2. And when I do that, I'm going to get out negative 3.231. And that's what goes here. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how you're going to calculate all of those values. You can have Excel do that for you, and that is a quick way to do it also. So once we have our whole big table of 1 over t and log of k, we're going to take those data values and we're going to plot them in Excel, or whatever your favorite graphing tool is. If you're not sure how to plot XY values in Excel, then go ahead and check out the video, which I'll link to in the description below, which goes through that process in more detail. We want the log of k to be our y-axis, so that's what we're going to put in our y-axis, and that's what we're going to put on our x-axis. When we do that, we'll get this line here. Now, when it spits out of Excel, it's not going to look that pretty. It'll look kind of ugly, but don't be freaked out. Just add a best fit line and don't worry about its formatting unless you also have to say turn in your graph, and then you might want to fix up the formatting. Also go through that on the video on the best fit lines. So here's the equation we get out. Y equals negative 22,197x plus 25.043. Well, that actually secretly in there has our activation energy and our frequency factor, because remember, we're making this fit a y equals mx plus b format. So all we have to do is take our slope, which secretly is minus EA over r, and multiply it by negative r, and that gives us our activation energy. All right, let's look at that. So I know that my slope is equal to minus EA over R. That's this M and that guy right in front of our X. And that's also equal to, for my best fit line I know, negative 22,197. So all I got to do is multiply both sides by negative R. And what I'm going to get is that my activation energy is equal to 22,197 times R. The negative signs canceled out. And when I plug in R, which is 8.3145, I'm going to get out my answer. I'm going to round to 3 sig figs because that's the fewest sig figs I had on that table that I used to plug in my data. And that'll give me 185,000 joules per mole. So there we go. That's my activation energy. And that's determining it graphically. The advantage of doing it graphically is you're combining a bunch of experiments into one, and it gives you a better estimate of the activation energy for a particular reaction. So thank you for watching this episode of Real Chemistry. If you have any questions, leave them below. And as always, you can subscribe as well. Thanks.